Yes, folks, hello, welcome once again to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. It's time for another action figure review here on the channel, and as you can see on the screen in front of you right now, today's installment is going to be taking a closer look at the new G.I. Joe Classified Series Dial Tone figure. So stick around, I'm going to give you all the ins and outs, ups and downs that you need to know, so that if you're thinking about picking up a Dial Tone of your own, or if you've got him on pre-order and wondering whether to keep the pre-order in, then you'll have plenty of information to make up your mind. I'm going to give you a quick look at the packaging, and then I'll get into the figure itself, give you a rundown of the aesthetic experience and the visual qualities that we have here with Dial Tone, then take a look at the articulation and discuss his posability, then have a walkthrough of all the accessories and discuss how much added value they bring to the set. And yeah, by the time that's all done, you should have a good, thorough look at the figure and know whether Dial Tone is worth your cash or not, whether he is the figure for you. So let's get into it, and let's start by going back in time to visit past Chris on the day that this bad boy arrived on my doorstep and have a little chat about that initial instinctual reaction to the packaging. Here we go. Okay then, folks, well, here is Dial Tone in packaging. Arrived on my doorstep a little earlier today. I don't know why this guy took so much longer than the rest of the wave to arrive. I got the other three just before Christmas, and this guy dropped now, but whatever, who am I to question it? But you can see here, it's the, the classic new the new classic design, with the carbon fiber background, the name of the figure, G.I. Joe, he's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. Main feature there really is the window packaging showing off the figure. Then on the back, we can see that he's number 149 in the line. Got the digital render picture here. I love these. I'm so glad they kept him. Leather neck in the background, mysterious crashed ship there, and Dial Tone in the foreground, getting down to some action, and a couple of breakout windows showing off some key features, which looks mostly to be some finer detail sculpting and paint applications. Legal bollocks and malarkey at the bottom. The import sticker here. Thanks once again to InDemandToys for importing this over to the UK and getting the pre-order over to me. This is Hasbro Hong Kong again, and I wonder if the recent announcement of Hasbro Pulse in Asia wrapping up is going to affect the import, the independent retailers doing their importing here in the UK. I'll have to drop him a line and see what's the story with that. And then, of course, we've got the file card information. Let's learn a little bit more about Dial Tone together. So here we have a little radio tower. That's to reflect his weekend hobby, actually. So Dial Tone, you may or may not be aware, he's a local radio shock jock. He does the morning show on a Saturday for his local radio station. Very good, very funny, apparently, although he gets a little bit heavy-handed with the soundboard, I hear. Then we've got this little mobile phone here, or cell phone, as my North American reviewers would call it. This is because Dial Tone started his career as a mobile phone salesman for the Carphone Warehouse over here in the United Kingdom. Then we have this little computer chip here. In addition to his weekend radio work, Dial Tone also likes to relax by building his own custom PCs. And that is, I don't know, some sort of AMD Ryzen chip or something that he likes to pop in his computers. And then finally, Dial Tone recognizes the importance of internet security. That's what this final entry represents. NordVPN or something. Who might want to come and sponsor my channel? I don't know. Do you want to come sponsor my channel, NordVPN? I did just mention your name like 3 times, NordVPN. NordVPN. You sponsor every fucker else. Why not sponsor me? Then on the side here, we've got this lovely piece of painted artwork showing Dial Tone in action. And then on this side, we've got the QR code to nowhere, repeat of the file card, and a sepia version of the artwork. And there we go, folks. So there's the little packaging rundown for the packaging experience for the Mint in Box, folks. I'm now going to go crack this bad boy open, get some good classic man-child playtime in. And future Chris will be back with some review thoughts imminently. So stick around. We're going to jump forward in time. All right then, folks, well, here is Dial Tone as he came out of the packaging, and as you can see with this head-to-toe look together, started strong vintage figure inspiration in this G.I. Joe classified version of the character. The colour schemes, the uniform design, all the key kind of visual identifying features are firmly aligned with the old vintage version of the figure. They've obviously got a couple of kind of updated elements to make it come to life in the 6-inch classified form, but largely speaking, black beret, green vest, the brown shirt, the black trousers, the green trimmings, all straight off the vintage figure, even down to the design of his kind of torso belt piece here with his gear on it. And in fact, if memory serves me correctly, the old vintage version used to have grenades mounted here as well. So, and the knee pads very, very similar. So, strong vintage figure inspiration here with dial tone for sure. Bringing him a bit nearer to the camera, we can conduct a kind of closer inspection of the finer details, and I'll start with the head here. Another classic, great G.I. Joe Classified Series head sculpt with excellent stash work going on. Interestingly enough, he came packaged with his beret on, but it is removable. If I just pop that off the top there. So technically an accessory, but obviously a key part of his uniform, of his visual identity there, but you can see the hair sculpt underneath. But yeah, lovely, good facial features, good paint applications on the lips, the eyes, the eyebrows, the moustache, of course. The hair sculpt is good, although perhaps a little plasticky. Great definition, pretty stoic expression there, not much going on, but it's nice. It's a good sculpt. And then you've got his like little earpiece in there at the side with the little kind of communicator wire coming down to the I don't know what that is around his neck, that like little neck communicator piece thing, which is nice. And then with the beret as well, we've seen berets before in the line. We know these are sculpted well, good contours, good shape. Got that kind of fabric texture detail in there, paint application insignia on the front. So yeah, very good looking. And of course, the moustache, as I've already referenced there, is absolutely spot on and just like you remember dial tone looking back in the days when you bought your old figures and you read your old comic books. Moving a bit further down, you can see there's lots of great sculpted details in here to give it texture, to give it depth. So this torso belt here, paint applications on the pockets, so they're brown. The little grenade selection here is painted in this kind of metallic paint app. Got the sculpting in the belt itself, then sculpting in the vest with the pockets and the creases and the seams and all that, which is all excellent to see. The belt is a little bit annoying. It rides like that a lot, you know, and falls, and this section here sticks up and you get this little gap, so you have to kind of try and pull it down, but it doesn't, I don't know, there's something about the three arms on it makes it difficult to sort of pull down and get straight, but it is possible to do. But keep an eye on that. There's been once or twice I've gone to take a photo and then realised that that's kind of a bit misaligned and there's sort of sitting high on his shoulder there like so. So keep your eyes open for that. It can be a little bit of a faff. But all those extra sculpting details continue down into the figure. You can see all the kind of like the bunching up and the creasing on the sleeves of his top there. Then we've got stuff like his watch and his little wrist communicator and the extra pouch across the bicep there with sculpted details in it. That's the same with the belt across his waist as well. All different colours, painted belt loops, love that. Painted belt buckle, love that as well. That all just really adds to the experience. Those are the little bits of attention to detail that really get my juices flowing. Got this little pouch here that I'll show you later, but that's to hold his like little cell phone thing. And then texture detail in the trousers, as usual. Got this little thigh holster here for a little walkie-talkie on his thigh here. A bit of a shame that that's not, you know, an extra accessory that's removable, but I do appreciate that it's, you know, all the different colouring is there, you know, on the little clasp strap to hold the radio in place, and the antenna is nice and wibbly wobbly so it doesn't get in the way of, you know, posing and stuff. Textures knee pads, got the green boots in there, got his little knife sheath again with loads of sculpted detail in it. Nice to see the green colouring as well, from the boots to the knee pads to the little trimmings on the belt and then the vest, all match up really nicely. Got some nice extra details here on the left arm too, so you can see there's a little watch face in here. We've got the little decal of his military insignia on the sleeve there, which is nice, dead neat, just adds further depth and storytelling to the character. I love dial tone's colour scheme, incidentally. I mean, it's, you know, this isn't really down to G.I. Joe Classified because they've stuck to the kind of original look and feel of the character, but there's something nice. He meets this sort of mid-ground for the weirdos like me that like the balmy stuff or the less kind of pedestrian military style stuff, because he's got the kind of uniformal colours and a military aesthetic, but there's just something kind of like the same way with Airborne. There's something about the way this khaki shirt and the green trimmings on top of the black just sort of just gives him a little bit more shelf presence, and I find him a little bit more visually interesting as a result of that. So, you know, when you put him next to his wave mate Leatherneck, who's obviously a clear, straight up, you know, camouflaged Marine head to toe, something about Daltone just gives him a little bit of pop. I can't quite articulate or put my finger on what it is, but the colour scheme contributes to it. And as usual in good old-fashioned G.I. Joe Classified series form, there's a nice symmetry to the design as well, which makes it very easy on the eye and makes you kind of absorb that colour scheme really nicely. So as far as aesthetics goes, Daltone gets a thumbs up from me, and that kind of visual experience is taken to the next level when you start adding in the accessories and the extra bits and bobs that come with him, specifically his backpack. So stick around for the accessory section to take a peek at him with the backpack on and to hear some thoughts on kind of how that further contributes to the visual identity. But just as a kind of core figure to begin with, yeah, thumbs up. A very enjoyable visual experience. He is definitely going to appeal to the folks who are looking for the more kind of vintage-inspired, classic-look characters in their collection. Although no need for a retro card release on this guy. But I think there's just about enough in there to modernize him in the 6-inch form, to appeal to those who want something a little bit more reinterpreted, although not a great deal. However, I'm happy. I flip-flop anyway. And I've found him to be a very interesting visual experience and played around with him a lot the last couple of days on seeing how he looks, and you know, just it's just been nice to have hanging around on my desk. So there you go. All right, so that's the aesthetic done. Let's now move on to talk about the articulation and posability, shall we? Okay, folks, well, to cut a very long story short, it's standard G.I. Joe Classified Series articulation here with Daltone. So if you've been around for a while, you kind of know what you're getting there, and you're not so interested in seeing the walkthrough of the articulation, then please avail yourself of the timestamps down below. That'll jump yourself to the next chapter along, which is the accessories and added value. However, if you are interested in seeing the walkthrough, want to know if there's any particular quirks, or perhaps this is the first ever G.I. Joe Classified Series review you've ever watched, then stick around and I'll take you through it. So starting at the top here with the head, then we've got the ball in the base of the skull, ball at the bottom of the neck. His head movement actually is a little bit crunchy. It's not fantastic. I can't get great down with him, and I can't get particularly good up with him. I don't know if it's something to do with the way it's sculpted across the back of the skull here, and the way the kind of communicator piece is sculpted in that's blocking it. But yeah, not fantastic. But you got the full 360. And you got the little bit of wiggly, tilty stuff going on the ball there. Moving down into the shoulders, we've got the butterfly joint there, which is a nice little shuffle back and forward and not restricted at all. Not that much at all on the because of the vest. Pegged in at the shoulder with a hinge as well, so you can go all the way around, full 360, and then you can get your shoulders up for a T-shape. Swivel at the top of the bicep and tricep there. Pinless double elbow that'll get you up to there. And then it's the standard pegged in hands that can swivel around in the wrist there. And then the right hand has got an up and down hinge in it. And then the left hand has got a forward and back hinge. One thing I've noticed with the up and down hinge on the right hand, because of the way this kind of sculpted wrist tech bracelet thing there, the hinge, the up and down hinge is restricted. You have to kind of pull it out a little bit, and then if you pull it out too far, you get a little bit of the peg showing. So just something to bear in mind, but there's still some movement there. Coming down into the torso, he's got the ab crunch here under his vest, and then the ball at the waist. The ab crunch in the vest is actually pretty good. The vest is fairly soft rubbery, so you can get a bit of forward and a bit of back out of that. And because of the way it's cut across the bottom, and because of its malleability, that's quite a word, isn't it? You can get some good movement there, and then you've got the ball in the waist, giving you the swivel and the turn. Standard G.I. Joe Classified Series drop down joint in the groin there, giving you good forward. Mad Russian ballet look. Then we have swivel at the top of the thigh. Pinless double knee that'll get you up to there. Got a boot cut here at the top of the boot line. And then the standard hinge and rocker for the feet, stroke ankles. So anyone who's been around these parts before will know that I'm a big fan of the G.I. Joe Classified Series articulation scheme, and Daltone is no different. Certainly no particular quirks due to the design or anything like that. You know, the range of mobility is good. It's solid. You can get some fun stuff done if you're taking photos or making interesting little displays or working on dioramas, that sort of thing. Oh, look, here you go. It's doing that thing again. There we are. Let's straighten that up. So yeah, good, solid, all round. You know, it's just a concrete slab of G.I. Joe classified with a big concrete slab of G.I. Joe classified articulation, and I am a happy chappy with that. So thumbs up. Okay, what's next? Oh, accessories. Let's take a look at the accessory selection, shall we? And to get us started, I'm going to begin with the main event as far as the accessory selection goes, which is his backpack, because not only is this, as I alluded to before, a big contributing factor to his visual identity and a part of who Dialtone is and how he contributes to the G.I. Joe team, but this thing has got stuff going on to bring it to life and give it some character and depth as well. So you can see we've got sort of 3 different colours on here. Got the main kind of brown backpacky bit. Then we've got the kind of metallic silver on the metal sections, on a few of the panels. And then we've got this like little kind of camera, like a shopping centre security camera thing here on the side. So it's good looking. It could maybe do with another colour, a little bit of something else, but there's a lot going on here with this panel painted and these little bits painted, and then these kind of bracket on the underside, and then the wires, the cables coming in at the top. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of sculpting in there. I'm just greedy and I want my backpacks to be even more colourful. But we've got a couple of articulated elements in here as well, which is really fun. So this section here flips down to reveal some kind of circuitry at the back there. And then we've got the little keyboard with a display here on the front. Little dials and stuff. Looks like a soundboard from a recording studio, which makes sense as far as Dialtone's speciality is concerned. There's like a little clip thing at the back there that I couldn't figure out. I think it might just be a design embellishment, but if anyone knows what that little clip thing at the back there is, if it has a specific purpose, then please do let me know in the comments down below. But this is nice, this is fun, this has meant that I've been able to do some poses with him, sort of having it propped up against a wall and things, and twiddling around with his knobs. I'm such a child. Then this little camera piece here, that swivels round too. And then this arm section here with his little communicator comes down as well, so that when it's on his back, you've got this out in front of his face by his mouth. The pegging in of the backpack's a bit funky. You have to sort of go in straight. Don't follow the contour of his back, but kind of go in straight there. But it sits nicely, and like I said before, it just adds to that visual experience. It's part of the character and his specialism. You can see if you flip this down here, you can get it down there, out by his mouth, so he can be chatting away. Hello. Hey, Leatherneck, you're right, you know, that kind of thing, which is all good fun. Kind of curves up over the top of his head like the classic figure used to do, and like his design in the comic books was. So yeah, great. The backpack's really adding to the experience, and a wonderful piece of accessory there. Then we have this little listening device, little kind of I don't know what these are called, sound amplifier type things, like they use in the PI movies and the police. Oh, you know, the sort of thing like the FBI gets sent in to take over a case and is working with the police officer, and they produce their really sexy, more expensive equipment for listening in on drug dealers and things. That's how I know these anyway. But it's a single piece of molded plastic. It's got a nice funky design, a little bit sci-fi in tone, which is nice. Doesn't have a coil or a cable to plug into the backpack, although there is like a little peg here, which indicates that maybe it should have. So you can maybe rustle something up out of the bits box, you know, grab like your Dr. Mindbender or your Techno Viper or something, and borrow it off them. Not that there's anywhere in particular on the backpack to plug it in, to be fair, but it's a thought. But yeah, this is fine. It's on brand. It's a good, unique storytelling piece of accessory specific to this character, which I always enjoy, so that's nice. There is nowhere on the figure to store this, though, which is something that I note. And then finally in the tech space, we've got this like little sort of mini tablet cell phone-y thing here. Got a little sticker across the top there with a play and a pause button, and a and a play bar across it there. Then a bit of sculpted detail, including the camera here, which is why it feels a bit more kind of phone-like to me. But this is fine. Nice bit of tech here, and then this does have storage on the character. That little pouch on the front of his belt holds it. Just slide that in there, like so. That's not the only place you can put it, by the way, because moving on to his rifle here, you can see that there's a little bracket at the top that can hold the little phone in at this section here, so he can use his display on his phone while he's shooting his rifle. Speaking of the gun, though, I believe this is unique to Daltone. It's got a fun look about it. Single piece of molded plastic, but yeah, interesting aesthetic on there. It's pretty firm. It's not too bad. You know, we're obviously all very concerned about the rubbery, wibbly-wobbly weapons, and this one's pretty solid. Removable magazine, which is fine if you want to pose in reloading his rifle and stuff. But yeah, good, decent weapon, unique to the character, which is nice too. And the phone just slides into the bracket there, just the same way as you'd put it in your, you know, in the bracket in your car kit or whatever. And finally, Daltone's got a knife, standard knife. Pretty sure we've seen this one before in the line. Nice handle. Nice blade. Not painted, though. Don't have a metallic paint job on the blade, which is always a little bit of a disappointment to me, but it's fine. Serves a purpose. You know, you can use it for cutting his wires and what have you. And this slides into the sheath on his ankle, down here. Just like so. There we go. So Daltone's got a good, solid accessory selection there. Interesting, unique, kind of telling his own story through his accessories, all connected to his specialism, which I particularly enjoy. So giving it a thumbs up there. Yeah, there's stuff to play around with, stuff to take interesting photos with, stuff to display, stuff to make dioramas with, all fun. I've just really enjoyed kind of fiddling about and seeing what kind of interesting and exciting bits of storytelling I can do. The only point to note I'll throw in is that the backpack is quite heavy. So sometimes you've got to kind of get his center of balance right so that he doesn't topple backwards, which can interfere on the odd instance. It's interfered with the type of picture I was trying to get him into, the try and pose that I was looking to create, but that's minor. It's only happened a handful of times, and even then it was just a bit of fine tuning to sort it out, but overall very enjoyable accessory selection. So there you go. Okay, let's now take a look at Daltone next to a couple of other figs, shall we? Here we go then, folks. Here's Daltone next to his Wavemate Leatherneck there, feature very heavily in the digital rendered artwork on the back of both of their boxes. Here's Daltone with Shipwreck, because I seem to remember, it's been a little while since I did the rewatch, but this pair appeared in a cartoon episode or two together, I'm sure. And while I'm in a kind of cartoon, G.I. Joe animated series headspace, here's Daltone with Duke. Retro Duke, to be more specific. All right, folks, well, here is Daltone on the turntable, so you can get a 360 little peek at the figure while I offer up some final summary thoughts. Just a quick note, popped a foot stand on him because turntable, for all its many flaws, one to add to the list is the fact that it doesn't remain flat anymore. It wibble wobbles, and with the weight of the backpack, he's been toppling. Not that you care, but I thought I'd share anyway. But nonetheless, Daltone has been a lot of fun. I've had him for the best part of a week now. I've been playing with him loads. Tons of man-child playtime, posing him up, taking pictures, just generally, like a fidget toy on the desk while I've been on Teams calls with work and just getting him into all sorts of interesting poses. The different aspects, the elements of his specialty, communications, tech type stuff has meant that he's opened up a little space of play that sets him apart a little bit. He's got a good shelf presence. Yeah, just overall, a great addition to the line, and just a solid wave, actually. I got to say, the four figures, Daltone, Leatherneck, Saw Viper, and Xandar, have been, good. I've really enjoyed this wave, and I'm continuing to enjoy this wave. So Daltone is definitely a MoDXtra Games and Collectibles recommends. I think he's good, solid addition to a G.I. Joe Classified Series collection, no doubt at all. Okay then, well, thanks very much for watching, folks. Hope you found this useful. If you did, do the YouTubey stuff, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, blah, 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 blah. But all that remains to say is thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great rest of the week. I'd love to see you back around these parts again sometime soon for another review or whatever, Take it easy, folks.